The Disney Network is powerful. It produces some of the biggest stars in Hollywood and is the name behind some of the biggest movies and TV shows on our screens. So it'd be hard to imagine an actor who was once working for them turn their back on them and do the ultimate betrayal. But the truth is that has happened, and as Lizzo would say, truth hurts. I'm your girl Joss. Today on Top 10 Beyond the Screen, I'm giving you guys a list of actors who betrayed Disney. Stick around to the end so you don't miss the blooper reel and comment features, and come say hi to us on Instagram. You can find our links down below. Starting off our list, number 10 is Joe Jonas. If you're a fan of the Jonas Brothers, then you have to be a fan of Joe, who is often called the leading man of the group, even though I will personally argue that Nick is. He was the star in the Disney movie Camp Rock though, where he starred alongside Demi Lovato as her camp crush. Let's be honest, their Jonas Brothers band is a thing because of Disney. It's almost like Disney brought back boy bands for our generation during that time. You would think that Joe would have some appreciation for Disney after the amount of success it brought him, but in an essay he wrote for New York Magazine, he criticized them and the writing for their show called Jonas. He said, "The thing about the show was that some of the writing on it was terrible." He also went on to reveal some rules that Disney had that he thought was too much, like having to shave every day and wearing his hair a certain way. They also had to sugarcoat everything, and apparently their lyrics had to be approved beforehand. He talked about it and said, "We went along with it at the time because we thought Disney was our only real shot, and we were terrified that it could be taken away from us at any moment." Luckily for them, they ended up leaving the Disney spotlight, and over 10 years later they returned as the Jonas Brothers, not under Disney, and they were just as successful as they were the first time. I just saw them in concert last week. Coming in next at number 9 is Selena Gomez. Before she was taking over the Billboard music chart, she was a young girl starring on the Disney Channel series Wizards of Waverly Place. Her name became known because of her role, and she can't deny that she got a platform for her music now because of her time on Disney. But she hasn't. She's always been honest about the doors that they opened for her. But she also put blame on them for the pressure that she felt to be perfect and the fact that she was often overworked. During an interview with the New York Times, she opened up about her time on Disney and said, "I knew deep down that this wasn't what I wanted to do, being exhausted of forcing something that wasn't right. I had to have moments where I was crying. I was forced to get very uncomfortable for a while in order to make the decisions that I made." Not gonna lie, I didn't realize that her time on Disney made her feel that way. I guess as kids we just see them so happy and we think that they're out there living the dream, but I was a little surprised to hear her talk that way about it. Truth always comes out. Sliding into the number 8 spot is Jake Paul. Now most people will know him as a famously obnoxious YouTuber, but he was actually a Disney Channel star and took on the role of Dirk in their series called Bizaardvark. During that time he used his Disney platform to his advantage, and a lot of fans followed his YouTube channel as well, where he started to gain even more popularity. But if you have followed his YouTube channel, you would know that his content isn't really Disney friendly. He started posting things that were outside of the Disney standards, and he was even making the news because his neighbors were calling the cops on him for his disturbance and wild behavior. In 2017 he posted an announcement to his Twitter saying, I quote, "My team, Disney Channel, and I have come to the agreement it's finally time for me to move on from the Disney family and Bizaardvark. Being a part of the Disney family for the past 2 years was incredible and a dream come true." Professional of him, right? But after all was said and done, he started going back on what he said and publicly bashed Disney, saying that he chose to leave them. Rumors were going around at first saying that he was fired, so he was kind of a dick about it and made sure that people knew that he left them by his own choice and that he doesn't need them. On the Impulsive podcast he said, "I'm sitting there on Disney Channel literally making crumbs compared to what I'm making doing my YouTube channel." Classic Jake Paul. That is a classic Jake Paul thing to say. In the number 7 spot is JOJO. A lot of people know her for her music, but some people might remember her from TV series and movies like The Bernie Mac Show, Aquamarine, and Lethal Weapon. Turns out that JOJO was offered a role with Disney and she turned it down. And this wasn't just any kind of role, it was one that helped launch a completely new generation of Disney stars. She was offered the role of Hannah Montana. That is literally my dream, and it makes me so mad that she turned it down. What are you thinking? At the time that the show was in development, JoJo was embarking on her own music career, so they thought it would be the perfect fit. Because we all know that that girl can sing. But she turned down the offer, and during an interview with Extra, she said that she has no regrets at all about not taking the part. She also wrote on her MySpace page at the time, saying, "I was more concerned with being a legitimate artist. I wanted to do it on my own, the old-fashioned way, with talent, determination, and hard work." Girl, that sounds like you're throwing some shade there. I don't think being on Disney makes you less legitimate, and I'm sure they weren't too thrilled about that remark. Moving into the number 6 spot is Bella Thorne, another actress who threw some shade on the Disney name, even though it is the reason that her name is what it is now in the industry. She was once taken on the lead role in the Disney Channel series Shake It Up. It is what set her career in motion. She was able to make a name for herself through Disney, and even after leaving the network, she has continued on to have a very successful career of her own. She starred in movies, she released some of her own singles, she wrote her own book, and she directed her own porno. No joke. She's now a very open and authentic young lady who has no shame in expressing who she is in the ways that she wants to. And she was quick to bash the Disney name, saying that they controlled her and used their power as an advantage against her. She told ABC News that she had to talk in a completely different, higher pitched voice because it would appeal more to the younger audience. She also revealed that the network threatened to fire her for wearing a bikini on a family vacation when she was just 14 years old. Her mom bought her the black bikini and she took a picture in it, which they deemed as too skimpy, and it almost cost her her career. During an interview with Under the Influence, she told the story and said, "They said, you're lucky that Bella has such a fan base that we can't afford to fire her at this moment in time, but if she does one more thing, we will." Talk about feeling the pressure. Like at any moment you could lose your entire career in front of the entire world. That's jacked. Halfway through the list, number 5 is Dylan Sprouse. If for some reason that name doesn't ring a bell, he is one of the twins that starred in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. It was one of Disney's biggest hit TV series, which later earned a spin-off series called The Sweet Life on Deck. However, the spin-off abruptly ended when the twins turned 18. Fans never really got a full explanation why, but Dylan had no problem sharing what happened, and he threw them under the bus in the process. Dylan says that Disney is the reason the show came to an end. In an interview with Vulture, he explained that Disney refused to work with them on where the show was going. He called them out and said that the network used them as faces for the franchise, but then refused to work with them creatively. He said, "I mean, we had a really awesome idea for where the show needed to go. I don't think Disney Channel was willing to work with us really ever, so we stopped the show." Alright, so not only is he claiming that they wouldn't work with him on their spin-off series, but he low-key just said that they never really worked with them. So I'm thinking that there's a lot more tea in his cup, and I want to hear the full story. Here we are, number 4, with ROWAN Blanchard. This little starlet played Riley Matthews on the Disney series Girl Meets World. She did an interview with W Magazine where she spoke some truth on a network, and fans believe she's talking about Disney. She did not mention Disney Channel by name, but fans are saying she didn't even need to because it was pretty obvious. So I'm gonna put my faith in the fans for this one. In the interview, she spoke on the fact that she felt silenced on a network that is known for silencing its employees. Her exact words were, I quote, "I worked for a corporation for 4 years that is known for silencing and crafting your voice. So with that, I just had to very much stand my ground and separate myself, which I think I did." After hearing all the other stories on our list, this would make sense if she was speaking about Disney. Not to mention, she was with the network for 4 years from 2014 to 2017. So, all signs point to Disney. Since leaving this network, she has become a very outspoken activist, and she said she is happy that people now recognize her for that, not just for her time on the show. Alright guys, we are at number 3 and we have Miley Cyrus. Not really sure if this one needs an explanation. I mean, I think her entire image and behavior has been a complete betrayal to Disney, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't into it. I love her. But with that comes her big mouth where she has no problem saying how she feels, and she does not have positive things to say about the network. For starters, she blamed Disney for her struggle with body dysmorphia, saying, "I was told for so long what a girl is supposed to be from being on that show. I was made to look like someone that I wasn't, which probably caused some body dysmorphia. But now that she's off the show and more comfortable than ever in her skin, she has a lot more to say. Like this iconic quote, she said, 'I don't give a shit. I'm Not Disney, where they have to be politically correct and like everyone has bright colored t-shirts. I mean, she's not wrong. But the biggest betrayal of all came earlier this year in February 2019 when she did an interview and revealed that Disney underpaid her. She told Elle magazine that she was the least paid person of the entire cast, and they only did it because they knew she was a kid who wouldn't decline the offer of being on Disney. She also said that they would probably kill her for revealing that. But whatever, I mean they can't touch her at this point in her career. Not to mention, that is so crazy to me. Taking over our number 2 spot is MERYL Streep. This one surprised me a little bit. Obviously she is not a young Disney star, but she's one of the most iconic actors in Hollywood, so what the hell happened for her to betray Disney? Back in 2014, the actress made headlines after she made a speech at the National Board of Review dinner that completely bashed Walt Disney. Not just the Disney Network, like Walt Disney himself. It was a long 10-minute speech full of nasty accusations about Disney, characterizing him as a racist and a gender bigot. Her words, not mine. She said, I quote, "Disney was perhaps or had some racist proclivities, and he was certainly on the evidence of his company's policies a gender bigot. He formed and supported an anti-Semitic industry lobbying group." It was quite the speech. She basically ripped them a new one and her speech was applauded all over. Although I'm sure that anyone behind the Disney Network was not joining in on that round of applause. Winning the number 1 spot is Chris Hemsworth. Now he is not a bad guy. He did not bash the Disney name, nor did he refuse one of their roles. We know that he's been in their Marvel universe as Thor for years now, pretty much becoming an iconic hero to most fans. And everyone knows that when you are part of the MCU family, going to the DC side is a complete betrayal. Rumors began spreading 5 days ago claiming that Chris might be going to DC and taking on the role of Green Lantern. Now it has not been confirmed yet, but it is worth mentioning because if this goes down, is gonna hit the fan. It wouldn't be the first time that an actor has switched from Marvel to DC Comics, but it would be a bold choice since he's played such a big role in the MCU all these years. It all started when articles surfaced claiming that Warner Brothers executives said that they were very interested in getting the actor over to the DCEU to take on the role as Green Lantern, which could be debuted in Dwayne Johnson's movie Black Adam. Nothing is 100% yet, so we're just gonna have to hang tight for now, but what do you guys think? Would you support this decision, or is it a complete betrayal? Tell me down in the comments. Alright you guys, we are at the end here. Click that thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's list and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. I'm gonna end our time together with some comment shoutouts. Zaim Nasrallah says, "You're only 5'7"? I thought you were about my height or even taller than me." Well, I don't know how tall you are. But yeah, I'm only 5'7". Is that short? I feel like that's pretty average. 700 Pro Patriot says, "People being triggered makes me laugh." Me too. I honestly think we just need to like loosen up a bit. Everyone needs to relax. It's not that serious. Let it go. Lock the Fox says, "The sick and twisted person that thought up Human Centipede needs to be removed from existence along with any copy or record of the film." Ain't that the truth? But what about the second and the third movie? Those two? Because they are just as bad, and yes, I have seen all 3. MERYL says, "Serbian film was pretty messed up. If you know, you know." Facts. And I know. Alright guys, that is our list for today. Let me know what you are thinking in those comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You can keep watching more of our videos, just stay on this screen, but first, enjoy the bloopers. Hannah Montana got paid the least? Like literally it is titled after her character. That doesn't even make sense to me. Well, it's true. You tell me I'll be a star on Disney, I'll take $5 an hour.